All right, Rokas, I know you have a chat coming up with someone from Africa.
Well, of course, because we're heading across to celebrate African History Month, and we've been doing it all, well, for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
actually.
that's right.
And this morning is no different. This morning, I want to invite all the way from Malawi, Martha Kachule. She's a brand business administrator. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, so I am curious. Can you tell me a little bit about Malawi?
Malawi is a very beautiful country. I love the people mostly. They're so warm, they're nice. And I'm pretty sure everybody who'd come here would pretty much enjoy the company they would get here. So yes, recommended.
All right. So for those of us who may not know, can you tell me what borders Malawi?
Sorry?
Can you tell us what are the islands or cities that border Malawi? Countries, sorry, the countries that border Malawi.
There's Mozambique on one side, and Tanzania. Yes, Tanzania, I'm sure.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. Okay, and I understand that you are a business administrator at a children's, is it a children's heart center? Hearts
Warm
Therapy.
Heart Children's Therapy and Wellness, yes.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about Warm Hearts Children's Therapy?
At Warm Heart, we do therapy for kids who have difficulties, could be in speech. We have occupational therapy. These are kids that have difficulties in concentration, handwriting, or maybe their growth and their age is not really like at the same wavelength. So like, for example, at 3 years old, a child is supposed to be doing certain things or speaking or whatever it is. Like every age has its own growth. So if maybe the child's growth is delayed or stuff like that, that's what we help with when we get kids or clients.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how have things been going with regards to the pandemic? COVID-19 has impacted all of us. Has it impacted the services that you guys provide?
It has really impacted Warm Heart badly because at some point we had to close. We did online therapy, but it really isn't the same. Other kids had to withdraw from therapy. We continued with some, but it was pretty hard. So it has affected us negatively in a sense that the revenue we're supposed to generate or we thought we would generate has been affected. They're pretty low. So yeah, we have been affected badly. We're open now, but we're still like trying to recover the losses that we made.
And what has been the atmosphere in general in Malawi regarding the pandemic? As a lot of businesses have had to close or close down?
Well, a lot of businesses did close down. We have reopened. Most businesses have reopened. However, I think now it's summer here, so the rates have been a bit lower than when it was cold because around June, July, things were pretty badly. Cases were rising each and every day. Deaths were rising, but now it's a bit better. We have cases, but they're not as much as they used to be. The death rates are zero on most days. So I think for now, we're pretty at a beta state compared to like maybe 3 months or 2 months ago.
Right. And has the government have been lifting restrictions as well, I assume, because it's getting better?
Sorry, you say?
Have the restrictions been lifted? Are you all allowed to gather? Are you allowed to do different things that would facilitate community and commerce?
Yeah, the restrictions are a bit lighter now. Gatherings have to be strictly like less than 100 people. I think a lot of places have been strict as well in terms of gatherings and everything else. Masks are like a must for everybody. So we're just hoping that it continues to get better and that people are actually following the regulations. Events are back, but then at the same time, it's still one of those things where maybe sometimes you could still exceed the number, but we are always constantly trying to maintain the number, which is like less than 100 in a gathering setting.
How has the reaction of people been to having to change to this new normal in terms of wearing masks? Have people been very diligent about doing it?
It really hasn't been easy, especially now, considering how hot it is, and you have to put on a mask, and sometimes you can't breathe, but at the same time you can't breathe, and you're thinking, is this a virus? But then it has been hard for a lot of people. But I think it's great that they've been still helping us. Like, for example, you could go to a shop and they'll say you can't get in without a mask,
right?
Or
okay.
You have to sanitize at the door. So I think it's really good that the government is still enforcing these things, whether people like it or not. But we're still trying to cooperate when it comes to the things that they're put in place.
All right, fantastic. Well, Martha, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning. We have to put a pin in it right there, but thank you very much for being part of our African History Month celebration right here on TTT and the Now Morning Show.